What if I told you that strength is not born in peace, it is forged in chaos? That the strongest individuals you know didn't discover tranquility, they created it. All tranquil minds you respect once endured storms that almost shattered them. They didn't shatter. They were hot, reformed, and became sharper. Most individuals today are mushy, not by nature, but by ease. They scroll for bravery rather than forging it. They talk about change instead of choosing it. They want to be strong without walking through fire. But here's the truth. Willpower is not given, it's earned. And the price is pain. In this journey, we are diving into 10 brutal lessons that will forge your unbreakable will. Not fluffy advice, not empty quotes, real mental armor carved from the same Stoic fire that forged Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. So before we start, do one thing. If you are committed to strength, don't merely watch this. Train through it. Such as this video today, leave your truth in the comments and stick around till the end, because one skipped lesson might be the one that saves you when life hits hardest. Let's get started. Lesson 1. Quit running from pain. You've been conditioned to steer clear of it, numb it, distract from it. But pain is the best teacher you'll ever learn from. Each difficulty you encounter is teaching you the areas within yourself that are still unpolished. The Stoics didn't beg for a soft life. They begged for courage to endure the hard one. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That is not philosophy, that is survival. So when pain arrives, don't hide, confront it like a student. Ask, what is this teaching me? For every scar holds a lesson within it, and with every time you live, your will becomes a little harder. Lesson 2. Discipline conquers motivation. Motivation is a spark, a bright, fleeting one. Discipline is fire, steady, painful, eternal. You won't always want to move. You won't always want to work. That is the point. The Stoics didn't rely on moods. They relied on movement. When the body wanted to stop, the will said go. Seneca penned, "The greatest victory is to conquer yourself. Each day that you appear without desiring to, you win the war." Self-discipline is the span between the life you desire and the suffering you are trying to escape. Each rep, each cold morning, each dark night of toil, that is what peacefulness costs, and one most will never pay. Lesson 3. Quit expecting fairness. Life doesn't owe you justice. It owes you opportunity. You can burn your energy yelling at the wind, or you can construct a vessel and set sail. The Stoic does not require the world to be just. He becomes more powerful than the injustice. When treachery arrives, he discovers patience. When loss arrives, he discovers detachment. When injustice arrives, he discovers strength without resentment. The world doesn't pay off for fairness. It pays off for toughness. And if you are waiting for things to be fair before you get up, you'll be waiting a long time. Nothing changes until you do. 3 lessons down, and already your comfort is shaking. Good. That is how you know it is working. Because strength doesn't develop in silence. It screams within you, demanding more. The next truths will take it deeper, into control, chaos, and the kind of will that cannot be shattered. Lesson 4. Control what you can. Let go of what you can't. Most people are defeated not by what occurs to them, but by what they try to control. You can't control individuals. You can't control results. You can't control time. But you can control what you think. Your reaction, your discipline, Epictetus said. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. That is freedom. Not the kind they try to sell you in the world, but the kind that can't be taken from you. The moment you relinquish struggling with what you cannot control, you begin to master what you can. And mastery of the mind is the building block of indomitable will. Lesson 5. Select struggle by design. Seneca exercised sleeping on the floor, plain food, simple living, not out of self-punishment, but preparation. He knew that comfort brings fear, and fear makes you weak. If you live too comfortably, you shatter too easily. So condition your brain to live hard. Take the ice bath. Go without luxury. Wake up early. Say no to the easy option. Every act of self-imposed suffering says to your brain, I control me. That is how you create a will that doesn't break under stress, not by evading pain, but by opting for it ahead of time before life makes you take it. Lesson 6. Let go of the outcome. Most of your anguish arises from holding on to individuals, to consequences, to expectations. You imagine peace to arrive following victory. Yet the Stoic finds peace even as he struggles. Marcus Aurelius wrote, Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. That is not detachment. That is control. The second you stop fixating on the outcome, you begin to concentrate on the process. You stop acting emotionally and you begin reacting sensibly. You continue to care. You continue to fight. But you no longer beg life to comply. You just do, and let the world take its course. That is the inner strength of an unbreakable mind. Lesson 7. Be at home with solitude. The weak avoid loneliness, the powerful construct within it. In quiet, truth is thunderous. That is why most people shy away from it. They can't tolerate encountering themselves, but a Stoic approaches it. He walks alone to hone his clarity, his focus, his faith. When the world is quiet, that is when the real work gets done. Solitude is not loneliness. It is practice. It is where you face the noise you've been trying to escape. And when you can stand alone in harmony, no crowd can ever have you in chains anymore. By now, you can sense the change. The complacency is over. The softness is breaking. You're starting to see that strength isn't about looking strong. It's about surviving yourself. But there are still 3 more lessons, the most brutal, the ones that transform pain into peace and fear into power. Lesson 8. Death is your teacher. Remember, most individuals live as if they will live forever. They put off dreams, waste time, scroll endlessly, and term it rest. But the Stoics reflected on death, not to be morbid, but to wake up. Marcus Aurelius wrote, You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do say and think. That is not fear. That is concentration. When you really understand your time is short, every hour is precious. You cease arguing. You cease pretending. You cease waiting for the perfect moment, because this is it, memento mori. Recall that you will die, not to grieve, but to live fully, fiercely, without apology. Lesson 9. Do what is right, not what is easy. The weak seek comfort. The strong seek character. The Stoic doesn't do what is applauded. He does what is aligned. Seneca said, I will govern my life and thoughts as if the whole world were to see the one and read the other. That's integrity. Do the right thing when no one's watching. Keep your word when it costs you. Be kind when you gain nothing. Speak truth even if it makes you stand alone. Each moment you choose virtue over validation, your will grows sharper. And when you are able to look yourself in the mirror and honor what you see, that is true power. Lesson 10. Never stop growing. The Stoic journey doesn't end. It becomes richer. Each challenge, each setback, each storm is a new trial. You never arrive. You only rise again and again. Marcus was betrayed. Seneca was exiled. Epictetus was born a slave. But none of them gave up, for the will which refuses to shatter becomes one day divine. You will fall. You will stumble. But every time, rise quieter, wiser, stronger. Your scars are not your shame. They're your proof proof that pain did not win. If you've made it this far, something deep inside you has already changed. You've walked through the fire and emerged, not untouched, but unshaken. That is the power of the unbreakable will. It does not mean life becomes easier. It means you become harder to break. Stop pursuing comfort from now on. Pursue growth. Train your mind, anticipate struggle. Separate yourself from outcomes. Stand by yourself if you need to. And remember, you don't need the world's validation. You need your own. If these things resonated with something within you, don't merely feel it, live it.